Hello, hello, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel. So we will be, I think this will be the last Ruthless part. I think. This is the only other decision I haven't done, right? Right? I don't know. We do it though, right? Yes, we do it. The promise of eternal life, or as close as can be achieved, all the while honored by a mission given by the gods themselves. It is outright intoxicating. However, the Olympians would not approve of a master overeager to give trust. And this foreman has made it clear that he is full of twists and turns. Yeah, I clicked it, right? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Sorry, I'm having a bit of the troubles. You know well what a wily... We got there this time. We got... a wily trickster the snake can be. But you've handled him before, and can do so again. Alright, Argos, you've got a deal. Wait here while I go fetch the bowl, and you can lead me to this pit of yours, so we can get this over with. Okay. Last time. We will get through this. We will make it there. Man, this took like 80 parts, didn't it? That's fine. Oh. Okay. We're getting there. We are... Yes, confirm selection. Firm but fair, you know. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Okay. With a grunt of disgust, you drive your foot into the center of the bull's wide back. He falls, wailing, and then is gone. Oh, okay, so the same line. Okay. In the next moment, a cacophony of noises rise up from the pit, bellowing and screaming, the thud of something hard and solid impacting flesh, and the sharp snapping of bone. Okay. And then ripped, tearing, wet, stomach-churning squelches as even the agonized and incoherent begging of the effigy's victim continues out unabated. Curiosity draws your eye down to the depths. You peer down and to see the maw of hell itself, to witness Asterion's eternal final moments. Most inhuman vision, a world of pain, outsuffered and undone. You cannot look, and yet, so much to ask, so much to know, so much to understand. You cannot look for a shuddering. When you manage at last to retch your eyes open, you turn and come face to face with Argos. And so it is done. Surely the gods shall smile upon the justice done this day. He bows low to you, shudders while trying to hold back a hackling cough, and presents the elixir with a stiff and shaky flourish. That's it? No other pontifications about service to the Olympians or what have you? I said it earlier, did I not? It is not my wish to waste your valuable time. You do, after all, have more of it now than any other before you. He nods his head, indicating the vial of icky liquid is in your hands. Take it, sire, and may your reign grace this land for many years to come. slowly, carefully, as though what he holds is more precious than life itself. Indeed, his such sentiments aren't that far from the truth. He holds you the elixir. The glass is warm against the skin of your palm, even in the overbearing heat of the desolate valley. Can you feel it, my lord? Ichor is the lifeblood, after all. Even after being spilt, it holds traces of their power. And that power is now granted upon you. Use it well, and may it extend the glory of your reign. You stare deep into the snake's one remaining eye, seeking out a single trace of deceit. He peers back at you, the lash of his smile still splitting his face. All right, thank you, Argos. It is I who should be thanking you, Master. There are no words to express my delight in servicing such a keen-minded lord as you. Truly, it is my honor to witness the coming of a master who bears the wisdom and might of bright-eyed Athena herself. You ignore Asterion's ego-stroking in favor of examining your prize, the elixir of Ichor, meant to extend the life of any who drink it, or so the snake says. Such a simple, humble thing, and yet, in the land where your word is law, something to be treasured. Is that all, then? I need to make my way back. There's still much to do. Hopefully, this will give me time to do it. If there's anything else you'd like to request me, summon me out to the valley entrance. I think this might be the start of a long and fruitful partnership. I do so hope it will be. Until the next time I play my flute for you, then. Fare thee well, O most esteemed Master Josh. You turn, making your way back to the valley, to the hotel with your prize. The ridge upon that blocky, towering building stands as like a beacon of civilization in the vast and interminable wasteland. It beckons you, as it has to all those who wander and are lost. But time and again, your gaze and your mind are drawn to the vial in your hand. Extended life, extended time, an extension of your lordship over this realm. Luke and Kota are still waiting for you at the bowl to the entrance to return safe and sound from this little expedition. You doubt that they'll listen to reason. All week long, they've been prodding you, pushing you, questions every single one you make for your hotel. What might they say, though, if you return with no proof of the bull's sacrifice was worth it? If they could see you, ageless and undying, ascending to take the reign of the mastery over the realm once more. Perhaps they'll finally see sense once you can ensure their comfort and security in the hotel for the long duration of your coming reign. And if not, you can deal with them, and you'll have plenty of time to find staff willing to show you proper respect. You can't resist the vision dancing through your feverish... Okay. Oh, they won't let me skip over. Okay. Dancing through your vision, your fevered mind, spur you to unstop the vial. To lift it to your lips. To drink, swallowing down the black liquid. Down there is there a man on Earth who sees more joy than just a dream, a vision, and the vision no sooner dawns than dies, blazing into oblivion. Fire blooms from your belly, spreading the ravenous hunger up your throat to dance upon your tongue. You cough and gag, and bend over to heave out a deluge of blood and ichor, dark bile. And yet, even as your body rejects the burning, biting liquid, it has already sunk its teeth into you. The world blinks out. No, your heavy eyelids flutter and close as your shaking legs collapse underneath you. The rocky ground is eager to greet the assault upon your body, to join the assault. scraping and tearing at your flesh, even as the poison ravages your innards. That fucking snake! When I get my hands on... The flood of wrath spills from your lips to interrupt by another flood of thick and oily bile. Warmth, strength, vitality seeps from every pore of your body, eagerly lapped up by the dry dirt beneath you. The agony is unbearable. And yet, oh Ruthless? Yeah, what am I saying? I can't read. Ruthless master of the labyrinth. It was your own hand that wrought this destruction. You were bestowed a gift of incalculable worth, and yet, as hubris and vainglory seeps like rot into you, you forgot that worth in the pursuit of even more. Those guests you welcomed into your hotel, the keeper, hard-working and ever faithful, was their company not enough for you? Was it not enough to be liked? Did you want to be worshipped? Where are they now? Where is their regard for you? Gone? Lost? Never again to return to this place? Drive friendships out, I say, and you drive out life itself. One's a sweetheart bond, a sweetest bond. They were the ones who... Was happiness enough? Where is it today? It is all wailing and ruin, disgrace, death, all the misery of mankind has a name. And it is wholly and forever yours. No, this wasn't what I can't. The spotlight glares down upon him as he finishes his performance at last. Were he warm-blooded, then surely he'd be sweating bullets under his heat. Oh, okay. His chest heaves as he holds the final pose, and then, with each breath, the layer of role and character are shedded. Breathe in. Gone is Oedipus's incestuous madness. Agamemnon. Man, I can never remember how to pronounce their name. It's like Agamemnon or something. Doom bringing sacrifice, Orestes' fury summoning vengeance. Release and relax the shoulders. All the black lifeblood spilled, the weight of generations cursed, a fate too horrible to imagine. It fades. Oh, excuse me. And at the last moment, he returns to his true name. Breathe out. Bravo, Dominicos. You make all the old stories alive again. It is as if you were channeling spirits. Upon hearing those words, each and every vertebrae in his body unchains, and lifetimes worth of anticipation and doubt. He tries to respond, but the dizziness threatens to topple him, forbids him from speaking. All he can do is bow and regain his composure as the Killian checks his notes. The god spins a pencil in his hand, then taps it in his to his cheek. Yes, you may be just the one to breathe new life into the role of Argos. But are you ready to bear its weight? Do you understand what it entails? I do. Since I was a child, I have studied the role of Argos in anticipation for this very day. Since a child? Now that one is new. And who gave you the idea then? The snake feels the swelling knot in his throat. He bites his tongue. My Popoli was the previous Argos. He was there when the last master had his most regrettable moment. I was raised hearing his tale about the old heroes, their grand adventures, and the labyrinth too. I take it, I take it then that you know all about that unsightly affair. Indeed, and I am determined not to allow it to happen again. What do you mean by that? The role of Argos, whoever takes it, he is allowed to by custom to define his mandates, missions. Correct. The god looks to the side and bites his cheek. He measures his words. Well, how can I explain it? I am afraid I never had the time to directly supervise what went on over there. Even this little ritual of picking the Argos every few decades or so already takes an unfortunate amount of my precious time. But for quite a while, I have been obligated to do it. And so I did. And the Argoi considerate workers as they are, understand this is a job where they must be independent. Thus, in my absence, yes, a certain custom seems to have arisen among the Argoi. That idea of picking a goal, which I suppose helps with keeping them motivated. So yes, you may pick one, if you please, if it pleases you. Thank you. Oh, Argaibonetes? For many years I've known what mine would be. I wish only to inherit my Papoli's mission, to play the role of honor-bound deceiver, to reveal the truth, to be the voice that cries to the wilderness, and in so doing, instruct the Lord. The god leans back in his chair, a smile finely painted on his lips. What exactly do you mean by that? I'll play the role of villain. Argophonitis. Despicable, treacherous, and true, reprobate, undeserving of trust. Through my trickery, I will make sure the new lord learns about the labyrinth's workings. I'll teach him mastery over the forsaken land. But, beyond that, the Minotaur, what is it? Was it not his idea to turn that place into a shelter for the lost? To be damned, and even so do all one can to grant others salvation. Argophonitis. I don't know. Never have I heard something so human. I know that I can play a part, small as it may be, in pushing a master to give his blessing to that mission. It filled my Papoli's heart with joy, and so does it fill mine. Thus, I'll play the role of villain, so that each gross misdeed of mine pushes the master further in cherishing the Minotaur and his humanity. The god, the son of Maya, the Callian, the Council of Craft laughs. And so he cackles. So his cackling voice roars through the theater. The snake finds himself putting up a character again, a stoic face to hide his panic as he realizes no human laughs is perfect. Human laughs in perfect intervals. Such a simple thing, and yet it reminds him of his Papoli's lesson that gods, for the most part, do not experience imperfect, reflexive emotion. The Callian kills his mirth in one fell swoop, and looks back to the boy before him. How hopeful! All that heroism and virtue. It is almost as if you forgot what the Argoi's original role was. I have not. Papoli told me that at first there was no Argos, for the old masters did all the torture by themselves. As they softened, the Argoi were instructed to bring them back to their original duties until the times changed. Humanity changed, and so did we change for torturers, shall we say, teachers. And so my mission, by my deceptions, I wish to reveal the new master's character, and instruct him to become the shining example humanity deserves, so that the tragedy of Clement may never repeat itself. I see. The divine smiles, the same as that the same with which the driver of cattle, the watcher of night, cut a turtle's life thread to make the first lyre widen into a crescent. Let us entertain a possibility here. What would ye do if the new master is, to put it bluntly, not a good person? What if he chooses to follow the old traditions, and put the prisoner through unsightly things? The snake does not, cannot comprehend the ruinous noose tied around his neck. Noose. He smiles like the prisoner did when, as a boy, he held his father's hand for the last time. He shall not. Humanity is great, and time has made its heart boundless and kind. This new master, I'm sure he'll be good. You are very optimistic, Domicus. Perhaps too much. But if I would be lying if I said I disapproved of your statement. Well, I should not share the details, but this time around an effort is being made to pick a master who will, I hope, resonate with these same ideals. Your Papuli, Christos was his name, correct? Yes. He must be proud of you. Let us hope the new master plays along with you. Excuse me. Should you perform as well in the trials as you have today, then, yes, Dominicus of Crete, hereby I grant you my blessing, and should you earn it, I will be glad to trust you with the role of Argos. The snake's heart swells and eyes glimmer. Great is the glory of the purebred dog who fulfills his lineage's purpose. By the 12, by your glory, O holiest council of craft, I won't disappoint. My Popoli and I, together, will be the greatest Argoi in all of history. I am sure you will. That lineage of yours, there is a vast nobility in all of you. Now, my little thespian, I say your family deserves to hear the good news. Go back to them. Tell it all to their heart's content. Do not forget to pour a libation to your Popoli. Prepare yourself, the trials begin within the week, and should the fates will it, I shall return in a month or two to take you to your life's greatest mission. Dominicus breathes in. Argos breathes out. And so indeed it is done. Pain turns to pleasure when we have set the crook straight. Fare thee well, O esteemed Master Josh. May you wander the Styx shores until you learn some humanity. Never. Now, O goddess, it is time to deliver the gift to its rightful owner. Goddess? Lady Nemesis? No matter. I know that you and your sisters are still watching all this. May the justice that I have enacted this day exalt your name, O tilter of scales. The curtain has fallen upon the snake's performance. Now all that is left is to strike the set. His eyes stay locked on the effigy as he lowers himself into the pit, clinging to the edge as he drops his tail under his tail and then his upper body down. The thing snorts and he freezes. Shards of ice dig into him as he watches it like trembling prey in the den of a predator. However, the scorned effigy takes no notice of the intruder in its new home. Its muzzle stays buried in what was once the bull's chest. The sounds of its chewing and swallowing send shudders of revulsion down the snake's spine. He pushes himself forward, slow, careful, staying far away from those wicked goring horns and trampling hooves. He takes hold of one bloody and broken limb jutting from the heap of meat and bones. Whether it was once an arm or a leg can no longer be discerned, and begins to drag the devoured carcass over to the hidden passage in the pit's wall. The effigy follows, and trudging after its meal, like a heifer snuffing into a bag of oats. The snake can only imagine what keeps it from lashing out. Satiated? Perhaps the prisoner's flesh, a hearty meal for the god-crafted abomination, or perhaps satisfaction at destroying its hated prey so thoroughly. Regardless, it offers little resistance as the snake ducks into the hollow, pulling the prisoner's remains into the small tunnel beyond. Only when the bloody mass is moved out of its reach does the effigy react. The creature bellows and pushes its head into the passage, but the crafty snake's forethought made the entrance too narrow for it to follow. And so the effigy is left behind to simmer in its irrepressible rage while the prisoner is pulled beyond its reach. Deep into the earth, the passage closes around the snake and his burden like a wall of a tomb, tight and stifling, dark and cramped, and quickly filled with the stench of blood and viscera. The snake gags, heaves, but grits his teeth, almost. Just a little bit further. There. He pulls himself free from the tunnel's entrance, and on the far end of the hill, hidden from sight, both the pit and the hotel. Sweet fresh air, dry as it is, fills the snake's lungs and gurgles it like a man finding water in the desert. His trembling body finally collapses underneath him, and he rests just long enough to catch his breath. Then, grunting and gasping and groaning as he pushes his exhausted limbs beyond their limit, he pulls the bloody carcass of Asterion out into the open. Almost immediately, it is swarmed by a cloud of flies. The snake has to bat them away with one hand while reaching for the pack tucked between the roots of a sickly or rotting dittany tree with the other. Okay. He rifles through the bag and pulls out a bottle of wine, the god-crafted vintage, third and last of the ones gifted to him by the son of Maya, to be used only in the most dire of emergencies. What could be more dire than this? With the teeth he pops the cork, and then appends, is that what that word is? The bottle to damp a good half of its contents over the prisoner's remains. Finally, as flesh and bone and sinew begin to meld and mend, the snake lifts his gaze to the darkening sky. Argos, no. His time in that role is finished. Dominicos breathes in and then out, and looks over the valley as the late noon shadows grow long. This cursed land, this realm of damnation, this prisoner, not only for Asterion, but all who fall into its grasp. The master twists into a vessel for the gods, ancient and justice-worn wrath. Even the snake himself, the chains of his pretense, passed down through generations of his kind. Is it even possible for such a lord to host a would-be redeemer? He hears a sound from behind, and he turns to find the Minotaur's body restored. That's fine. Dominicos slithers over, the half-full bottle of wine in hand. He holds it up as a peace offering from the former foreman of the labyrinth to the prisoner. Prince Asterion! He works his jaw, trying to find the words to say. Are you all right? Asterion looks at the snake.
You! What are you doing? Why? Why did you save me?
His gaze darts from the bottle in Dominikus's hand to the snake's eye. His limbs tense as he watches the other's every move, or ready to flinch, or ready to bolt, or ready to perhaps to lash out at the merest hint of treachery. How many times has hope been dangled before him, only to be snatched away the moment he reaches for it? I can explain. But first, drink. You need to recover your strength after your ordeal. I know you don't have any reason to trust me, after all. After what I made Josh do to you. But look at me. Do you think I have the strength right now to do you any harm? At last the Minotaur relents. Whether he catches some glimmer of truth in the snake's words, or whether his reeling mind can think of no other alternative, Asterion accepts the bottle and drink. That healing wine, God's crafted, flows down his gullet and fills his empty bottle, his belly. Belly. That's what that word is. When he has drunk the last drop, the Minotaur tosses the bottle away with a soft grunt. It clatters on the rocky ground, and rolls into a tuft of dry brush.
All right, I'm listening.
And so Dominikos begins his tale. He starts with the events of the past week. The plot of usurpation against Master Josh, the trial and ordeals he has undertaken, all for the sake of bringing this meeting to pass. That naturally leads to the revelation of the realm's supplanted purpose, the conspiracy which dates back to the labyrinth's very founding. The hidden parting gift left behind by the Minotaur's earth-shaking progenitor. The endeavors of the Callian and the Argai, and whom Dominikus is only the latest in a long line. The testing of the Master's character, and the events which should have unfolded were he to prove himself a prospective redeemer. How dreadful knowledge of the truth can be when there is no help in truth. How terrible to see the truth when the truth is only pain to him who sees. What can a man do when his understanding of the world is ripped from him? What can a prisoner do when the bars of his cell prove to be mere illusion? What can the Minotaur do but laugh? Great heaving, sobbing peals of laughter spill from his coat, just as hot tears spill from his eyes. His lips tremble, and one arm lifts up high to slam a tight clenched fist into the rocky ground. Again and again, until the flesh splits and red blood mixes with rotted black ichor, stains the dust and stone. 1,000 years of misery pour from the bull in every way a man can vent the frustration and sorrow of his life.
Oh, Zeus, what plaything will you make of me? Wasn't I born for torment? Look in my eyes. I am an abomination, heart and soul. And yet now you tell me all of this, everything. My decades in the cold room, my centuries of servitude, my millennia of torture. All of it was for the sake of a farce.
Domenico stays silent. What words of comfort does he have the right to utter? What defense for his role? Small, admittedly, but crucial, in the Minotaur's suffering. There is nothing he can say, and so Domenico says nothing. The shadows of late afternoon lengthens into the muzzy half-darkness of twilight before the bull's voice fell silent. So now everything has been made clear. What will you do? Now that Josh's mandate has come to an end, will you take this chance to escape from before another master comes?
I don't know. And when I don't, I keep quiet. If I know, I won't hold back. The guests, I can't just leave them behind.
Ever faithful to the end. Sorry. The Minotaur's ears flick, as though the snake's apology were a fly buzzing around it. I don't know myself what will happen to those who linger behind. I can only imagine that without a keeper, the hotel's guests will be returned from whence they came. So will you keep tying your happiness to theirs? Will you stay here, shackled to your hotel, while their lives continue on?
Be quiet. Don't speak as though you know anything.
The snake's mouth falls shut. However, his venom has already found its mark. The words seep into the Minotaur's mind, relentless and undeniable. And though Asterion tries, with more desperation than he's undertaken any other endeavor in his too long life, he can find no falsehood in them. This time, he chooses to be selfish.
Alright, you win. At the very last, you win. And may you be damned for it. Good riddance to this labyrinth. Good riddance to the hotel, to Josh. And to you, false foreman.
As he rifles through his pack for Poseidon's parting gift, placing it free of both the bag's depths and the cloth which saddles it. Swaddles it? Dominicos keeps his head ducked down under the reins below the Minotaur's words. He turns, extending the gift towards its rightful owner. Its light, like sunlight shining upon the seabed, shimmers in the growing dark. And yet, just when freedom brushes against his fingertips, the Minotaur hesitates. His eyes meet the snake's. He bites his lip, breathes in, and takes the plunge.
You said that you're from outside. From Crete. Tell me before I go. How is our homeland?
With no uncertainty or shame, the subject answers. As beautiful as ever, your majesty. And all the greater today, thanks to humanity's ingenuity. It's been thousands of years, and yet parts of your father's palace stand to this day. And the Cretan culture, your culture, became Athens. In turn, it became Greece's, Rome's, and half the globe's. Our land's legacy is humanity's. Asterion's lips tremble at the moment imprinted itself on this immortal mind. But it cannot last. Before he can think twice about it, the Minotaur takes ownership of his inheritance. Light dances upon the Minotaur's softening features when his hand curls over the glimmering orb. It grows brighter, blinding, engulfs the Minotaur, hiding him from Dominicus' sight. And then it blinks, leaving only the faint tickling sound of the gift falling to the rocky ground. Asterion has vanished. The prisoner has found his freedom at last. Farewell, Prince Asterion. For one final time, the snake swaddles the gift in its cloth and tucks it in his bag, which he rests in the hollow within the dying, dinty tree. There it will remain, he thinks, for the remainder of eternity. He then turns to make his way to his hovel. Thoughts of packing his belongings and leaving this cursed realm behind already filter through his hazy mind. Already he anticipates seeing the face of his mama and Bompus once more, and already he dreads the retribution that surely awaits him once the Council of Craft learns of his treason. He freezes, and his thoughts of anticipation and dread scatter like petals before a gust of wind, and the sound which raises from the valley's depths. Something shambles through the dark, dripping and dribbling, dragging itself along the ground towards the snake. He doesn't have time to think or cry out before it lunges, and then is upon him. Wet fur, stinking of panic, sweat, and salt water engulfs him. Familiar, horrific familiar. He has worn it almost every day since the beginning of his mandate as foreman, after all. The thing drags it to the ground, crushing him under its weight, and then its torment maddens, bellows, becomes his own. Is there a man more agonized, more wed to pain and frenzy? Not a man or earth. The joy of your life ground down to nothing, O Dominicus, name for the ages. And where does all this agony hurl you? Where on earth? Your voice swept away on the dark tide. Your destiny, your dark power. What a leap is made. Now, Redeemer, the shackles of your prisoner drags you to the depths. Now what a black sea of terror has overwhelmed you. Now as we keep our watch and wait for the final day, count no man happy until he dies, free from pain at last. Okay. Well, how does this one differ? A sound, shuffling, and occasional quiet clatter drifts from the hall, from a pair of half-open doors. Storm looks to pee. One of the Minotaur's brows perks upward. The peacock grunts with a jerk of his head, and directs his companion to join him to following the noise of its source. The pair passes through the double doors into what looks like a run-down, abandoned bar. Excuse me. Okay. They move behind the bar top and push for the kitchen. They pause, staring at the yawning maw of a cold room door. Darkness pours out of it, along with the sounds which drew the pair to this place, and now they're closer, P and Storm can hear a quiet, hoarse voice.
Come on, you stupid thing.
A grunt exertion, a loud clatter, and a weak hiss of irritation. P and Storm share a glance, hesitating on the threshold of the doorway. The peacock draws himself up, clears his throat, and calls out into the darkness.
Excuse me, hey!
The figure sulks into the shadows of the cold room, falls silent. Shambles from the cold room's depths, towards the pair. Stops just short of the light shining on the floor in front of the doorway. However, as it pours into the room and around P, that light provides teasing hints of the figure's monstrous form. A pair of horns, one broken off at the tip, crowns the head, both serpentine and bovine in shape. Pale gray scales melt into the mane of matted fur. Yes, that runs down the creature's spine, and the back of the coiled tail. A single eye, glimmering with sullen petulance from beneath the thing's brow, stares at these intruders upon this solitude. P and Storm stare back. The Minotaur's eyes are wide, and his rigid limbs are prepared to bolt at a moment's notice. The peacock holds his ground, but beneath the placid mask of his face, the thoughts whirl like a maelstrom.
Oh, it's you!
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, friend.
I'm sorry, have we met?
It's an impossibility, and he knows it well. But in his shock at the sight before him, the words spill out before the peacock can swallow them.
No, but I've been told all about you. So you finally managed to get here. Oh, Zeus, what plaything will you make of me?
The body convulses, and it begins hacking and gasping. It takes a moment, but P and Storm eventually recognize the sound as what's supposed to be laughter. The peacock glances to his companion and gives the younger man a stern look while jerking his head to the side in a small, quick motion. The message is clear. He will handle this. P pulls out his notepad out of his pocket, flipping through it, if only to fill the awkward silence with the ruffling paper. He finally looks up and paints a ruckus of casual indifference on his face. Pardon the interruption. My associate and I have had a rather long journey, and we were hoping to find someone who can answer a few questions about this place. And once I'm done, I'll leave you to your business. First off, this is the Minotaur Hotel, isn't it? The thing collapses into yet more convulsion and hacking and gasping at the words. The Minotaur's. Its dry, dusty, wheezing laughter trails off into a coughing fit. Perhaps there's so much to that, indeed. It was the crafty heifer who first put the idea in the master's mind. So that's a yes then. The creature doesn't answer. It coils its tail around itself, shuddering and letting out a low moan. Then where is he? Where is everyone else? Gone. Long gone. I took care of the master and his Minotaur pet. And when I rose from the valley below, stalking my claim upon this forsaken pit of rock, what guests remained fled at my approach. And now here I am, a wretched monster, shackled forever within this realm of damnation. Crowned, as you can see, as proud reward for my love of justice. He gestures to the horns rising from his head, and then his sniggering becomes another quiet, bitter groan. P stays silent, considering the monster's words. That can't be the whole of the matter. He refuses to believe it. The storm shifts from hoof to hoof, and when the creature's eyes fall upon the black-furred Minotaur, it lets out a low hiss. The storm flinches. P takes a step forward. Hey now, I've still got some questions for you, and you're gonna stay right there and answer them. Who the hell is this master you're talking about? What about the Minotaur who could make diamonds rain from his hand? What did you do? Kick them out? If so, where did they go? Did they take anything with them that might be belong to the guests? And you, just who the fuck are you? The thing collapses into a coil. A drawn-out, wary sigh, dusts from its slack jaws. All right. It's a long and sordid tale, reveling the classics in sheer God's cursed travesty. But I'll tell you what I know, if you will listen. As for me, my name is Argos. The peacock laughs. He stumbles into his own convulsion, and has to lean on Storm's shoulder to steady himself. When the ringing peals of his mirth finally fall silent, P looks right into the creature's single eye. Oh, here. This song has, lyrics, so let's get copyright claimed. And turn up the volume, so that you all can hear it. Alright then, Argos. Tell me everything. Oh, okay. Cool. That was a long segment. But I'm still a little confused, but that's okay. I'm a confused individual. Man, poor Argos, though. he's still fun though. Kind of love him. But yeah, this was cool. This was cool. So, like I said last episode, I will probably be taking a break from Minotaur Hotel for a bit. I'll be playing another game for a little bit before coming back to Minotaur Hotel to do Speedrunner. I think I will finally I think I'll put Speedrunner in its own playlist and reset the numbers for it. Just because one, I think putting Ruthless in the same playlist kind of made people go, oh, I don't want to watch it. Like, they still see that it's like part 100 something, right? And I feel like that number being that high has kind of like made these videos maybe not do as well. So, I don't know. We'll see when we get there. But I had a great time. This was a good game. I hope to see you all around.